Hello everyone and welcome to Draw Your Swords, an actual play D&D podcast played with comic artists and writers. I am Sandy, the Dungeon Master, and joining me this week.
Hi, I'm Harry and I play Emlyn, the Halfling Rogue.
Hi, I'm Holly and I play Veda, the Fire Genasi Bard.
Hi, I'm Lily and I play Fig the Furbog Druid. And last time, guys, it didn't go great, but do you know what they say? Less regretty, more spaghetti.
Who says that?
I do! I love spaghetti!
Classic reference to all that spaghetti stuff that happened in the last episode, maybe.
Nothing to do with jam. We're spaghetti.
Oh shit,
squad.
damn!
One relevant time.
Great.
We are in quite a jam.
We are.
Yeah.
You did it. Nailed it.
See, that's a pun.
I forgot the jam thing happened, okay? All I remember is the regretty.
So, with everyone safely out of the city, all the civilians heading towards Lysias, the Gnarlsfell giant, you had one more task to achieve. Take out Bram Greason, the captain of the Red Swords and the guard of Baron Ramachus in Windstata, hoping that he would struggle to maintain a grip on the Downs and hopefully get some revenge on Lomgir, the Prince of Giants, who was imprisoned and for some of the guards of Vrundar that were killed at the negotiations in Zundaria. You made your way to Bram's house disguised. The two-story townhouse was heavily guarded with multiple groups and the biggest force our party had ever faced. But with the mighty force of a tidal wave, as well as zombie attacks, Veda ensuring everyone was topped up on health and imposing disadvantages, and the crack shot of Emlyn, with Agatha just being an immovable armored tank, you quickly took out Bram and his guards. Trying to leave quickly as possible, you headed north through the city to the outer walls while being chased and being pelted by arrows. Mostly everyone went unscathed, which was great.
Yeah.
Ish. You managed to ensure everyone got over the wall and into the woods. So, that is where we now find our party, as a scene plays out in front of us. On reflection of what just happened, a memory rushes into Veda's head. A strange sound wakes little Veda from her sleep. She doesn't know what it is, but maybe it's one of the bad guys that Papa keeps the city safe from. She thinks about waking her sister up, still asleep in the other bed across the room. But she decides against it. Odile would probably say she was being silly. Besides, she's braver than Odile, and she's only 5. She gets up, sneaking out of the bedroom and through the hall as quietly as she can. She can still hear a person in the sitting room. They're trying to be quiet. But there's someone there, for sure. It almost sounds like they're crying. When she gets to the door, she pauses for a moment, taking a deep breath before pushing it, opening softly. There's someone here, sitting in one of the big chairs, hunched over and sobbing quietly into his hands. It's not a bad guy. It's Papa. For a moment, Veda doesn't know what to do. She's never seen Papa cry before. She doesn't like it. She walks over to him and puts a little hand on his knee. He jumps a little, unaware that anyone else was awake. He straightens himself up and wipes his eyes, sniffs a little. Veda, what are you doing out of bed?
I heard noises. Papa, why are you crying?
Her voice is a little shaky. If something has made Papa cry, it must be really scary.
Did you have a bad dream? It's okay, dreams aren't real, they can't hurt you.
She says, repeating what her mother and father have told her when she's woken up scared and disoriented. He smiles at her a little, but he still looks sad. No, dreams aren't real, but memories are. And sometimes they hurt you. His voice sounds deeper than usual, scratchy. His throat is sore.
Can you make them go away?
Mama and Papa always manage to chase away bad dreams quickly. Memories can be much different. He makes an odd sound, almost a little laugh, but it doesn't sound happy. No, chérie. I don't think I can. Veda frowns a little. Mama and Papa always give her hugs when she's sad or scared, and they make her feel better. She should try that. She starts to climb onto his lap, and he scoops her up, placing her gently on his knee. She cuddles up onto his chest, and Papa strokes her hair gently. He's quiet for a long moment before he speaks again. Sometimes in life, you have to make decisions, even then there's no easy answer. And no matter how sure you are that you've made the right choice, bad things can still happen. But worse, things would have happened if you did nothing. Do you understand? She nods, even though she doesn't really understand at all. What could possibly be so bad it could make her Papa cry? And scene.
Oh.
Yeah, you did a much better job of that than I would have.
I'm so interested in everyone's backstories.
Same, oh my god.
So, as we find our jam bandits in the
Can't
in
believe
the
that's
Newly
the
forest.
name we
appointed.
settled on.
We're like the
We-
nicest people.
We ended on a freeze frame, right? So you just see us fall. Punch in the air and then just fall to the ground.
I mean,
right.
I guess we're
Well,
still
next.
booking it through the woods because
Yeah.
we need
Oh,
to
yeah.
get as far away from this city as we can.
Yup.
Okay. I'll assume you'll be heading back to Rotan to reconvene with Vrundar and Lysias and all the people that you saved. But it's getting later into the evening now.
Yeah, we should maybe be somewhere where we can keep a vague eye on the road just in case a whole bunch of guards start trying to find them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, did we
don't
not?
be
We
followed, I
ran
guess.
we ran out the opposite side of the city than they went from because we didn't want them to do that.
Yes. So
So, yeah.
you
We're
Well, we're
like-
smart. Past
like-
us are smart.
Yeah, we're north of the city, I think.
Yes, so they went out the western side where you would normally left through Susan Zundaria's chambers. You'd lay them all through that way. They've already met up with Lysias and hopefully had gotten to the carts that was pulled by his big mammoth, Highland cow, mammoth-looking thing, and making their way back to Rotan to let families reconnect and potentially move further on from there. So you hopped out to the north of the city into the forests and began running through. As this scene is playing out in Veda's head, understanding the gravitas of what her father had been thinking or the worries of the world that is so not aware of children, you start running through. I'll say you start running towards Rotan to reconvene, keeping into the woods slightly, but keeping an eye on the road. You can hear the distant shouting and organization of something as you walk around the city. People are mad and look like they're organizing a larger force. As you catch the last glimpses of the city, you see the walls all lit up with torches, with people looking around, and the sound of horses exiting the city from the other side. You make it to Rotan. Later in the evening, you see hundreds and hundreds of people all gathered out in the streets, people packing up various small parts of their lives to ensure they can live somewhere else. People are being reconvened, families now together once again, people all hopping on carts, people getting ready for long marches. You see Vrundar still wounded and kind of grouchy from your earlier encounters in Zundaria. He stands up, sees you approaching. Was it a success? Did you kill him?
Yes, we did.
Good. From what I can tell, the city is alive, and they're coming. We need to leave.
Yes, I think it would be wise to leave very quickly.
Lysias comes over. Well, going to have everyone ready to go. I didn't really think this would happen so quickly, but never mind. It seems that everyone is willing to go. You see even Cookie, whose establishment is in this town, packing up and ready to go. She comes over as well, saying, yes, I don't think it's worth the risk staying anymore. I'll follow these people. They seem to know what's safe.
Is there anything we can help with?
Just make sure that no one's left behind and everything's happy to go and children have backpacks on, and make sure everyone's just safe if you can.
Oh, cool. I definitely want Emlyn to be going around helping.
Okay.
Emlyn specifically putting backpacks on all the children.
Yeah, you like helping tie some shoes, putting on woolly hats for kids that are being a bit grumpy.
Oh my god, definitely.
As it's still, the dead of winter, it's pretty freezing cold right now.
Yeah, Vidal run around and make sure everyone's getting ready. She's not gonna lift anything, but she'll go around and
Fig
make
will
sure
lift the
everything's getting
things.
done. Yeah, Vidal direct Fig to lift.
The perfect team.
Yeah.
As you start getting everyone ready, Lysias says, right, time to move out. We're making for Gnarlsfell Pass. As you hear a big crack of a whip, and he points to you guys. Before you go, quickly come here. I know that you're going to be leaving for Niflheim, so before you go, I want to give you this. And he hands Fig a medallion looking thing, and on it is a carved mammoth horn. He says, we'll be shutting the gates at Gnarlsfell, so show them this. You're a friend of ours. Vrundar slowly makes his way up to the front. War is coming again, but this time the giants will stand on the side of justice and honor, not for a pack made ages past. They have wronged us. I will head back to Noveria and inform my people there. We shall help where we can. The events are moving forward. First, this will be political. Gain allies where you can. Ensure you can trust them. You are the friend of the giants, and you will have our aid when it comes.
I'm very glad we're on the giant side.
As he slowly moves to the forward, leading the party, Lysias says, well, it's a bit of a very dramatic thing there, Vrundar, but it seems to be the way it's going on. We'll be fine if you just want to head to Niflheim, but you might, I don't know, keep to the forests or off the paths, but better head now.
Yes, I think we should. Good luck with your journey. I hope you all make it there safely.
With Vrundar around, we shall be fine.
I'm sure.
As Kuki then approaches, along with Hymir Redfrin and Zara, all people that you've had during this time of rebellion in Windstata. Well, it's been lovely caring for you and having celebrations, and helping people has been so rewarding, and I can't wait to help more in the times to come. I hope if you're ever in Gnarlsfell Pass that you'll come see me again.
Yes, I'm sure we will. Thank you for everything, Cookie.
It's not a problem. And she gives y'all a big hug.
No.
Group hug.
Group hug, but Emlyn is just at waist height. Yeah.
So do you guys get on your own cart and start riding, or do you?
I think maybe we should leave the cart and let Plumpkin in the cart go with these guys.
Plumpkin.
Yeah.
It's dangerous where we're going.
There's a tragic romantic slow-mo goodbye as we say goodbye to Plumpkin.
Mm.
So just
It's
like flashbacks to us like petting her hair and laughing
Yeah, like
with her. And
soft focus. All the times we shared.
Leaving her for a week in Team Diary.
Veda accidentally standing in some of her poop and looking disgusted.
Memories.
We remember them fondly.
Okay. So, as you start seeing the train of the refugees of Winstata and Roton now heading for Narlsfell Pass, you will head north to Niflheim.
Emlyn like briefly suggests like checking around the house just to see if anyone's left anything behind, and then sort of like changes their mind and it's like, no, we should go. Sorry.
Well, maybe we should check if there are still people around.
That's exactly what I meant actually when I said if they'd
Just
left
double,
anything.
double check there's no one left
Just
behind.
double check, just extra careful.
Okay.
What's this necklace made out of that you gave me?
It looks to be some sort of brass.
I hand it to Veda.
Oh, do you want,
It's not Fig's look.
do you want me to hold on to this?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll keep it safe.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Okay. So, if anyone wants to roll investigation, you can.
Alright, I do. It was kind of a joke, but now I feel like the character has to commit to it.
Can I like listen out so I can roll percept? Oh, never mind. It's fine. Everyone's got it.
It's a 23.
You forget that Emlyn's actually really good at stuff.
Yeah, again, it's not necessarily a character.
It's all just on the sheet. It's
Yeah.
nothing about the characters. All sheet.
Listen, how dare you? Yeah, you know, they're checking for people. Maybe if anyone has left anything behind. That
Okay.
would be good to know, because then we can potentially return it to them.
Potentially.
If your paths cross once again.
Emlyn's been doing a lot of helping people recently. They're doing like a really good job. When Cookie was like, it really feels good helping people, Emlyn was like, yeah, it does. One exciting new surprise. But at the same time, like, you know,
Emlyn is,
change takes time.
Still got a lot of debt to pay off.
Exactly, yeah. When they've paid off their debt, they can be extremely nice to everyone all the time. That's how they've internalized it.
Okay, so you start looking through houses, peeking through windows. You do find a couple of nice brass ornaments that could be worth something. I mean, you rolled really well with the 23, so
Gonna write that down.
there's like a couple of like old floorboards that you can see. You can like pop them open a little bit of savings in there as well, like 20 gold pieces.
Stuff people have forgotten about.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want it to go to the people raiding the town, so...
No. Also, you know, we give them a lot of money, so 20 gold is just a drop in the ocean.
You notice Emlyn, like, peeking through windows, but in a noble way. You know?
But no one's left behind, which was the main,
Okay.
obviously the main purpose
Quote
of
unquote
this
main
role.
focus.
No one's like left a cat or anything.
No.
You just suddenly introduce an exciting new magical animal companion.
I have a magical companion. I have a crow.
You do have a
You
crow.
do.
Oh, yeah.
I just remembered my crow.
Oh, yeah.
Main purpose
you
is
haven't
annoying Emlyn.
Steal all her jam. Their jam, sorry.
Did we give something to Agatha? Where's Agatha? Did Agatha
Agatha's
leave?
with you.
Okay,
No,
cool.
Agatha's with you. She's also going to Niflheim, so that was
Yeah.
her main purpose of coming with you. So
You know the stuff
Oh,
that we
she's still
found-
here?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
She's
what I was
got,
asking.
she's got a date with probably the Obsidian Prince as well. She's not really
Oh,
told us
right.
about it, but she's all like, I need to go to Niflheim too, wink wink.
I see.
Nudge, nudge.
I just meant, we got like magic stuff from the vault, and one of the things was a crow, and one
Yeah.
of the things
Yeah.
was a lantern, and I can't remember what the other stuff was.
It was the
So-
book that you want.
Agatha has a book.
Oh yeah.
Agatha
The
got
book of like creation.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the gauntlets that give you like 19 strength.
Who actually has that stuff right now?
I think the gauntlets
You
are
have
in
a
the bag
lantern.
of holding, and Emlyn has the lantern, Fig has the crow, and Agatha has the book.
So it's a book of creation magics. It's like almost a religious artifact that she held on to and thought it safe in her hands rather than anyone else's. As she was the keeper of the key, she took on the responsibility of herself to hold on to it.
Veda
Wow.
kind of wants to see if there's any like fancy magic she can learn from it, but also she can't read it because she doesn't speak Celestial. So
All right.
and you've got your book debt as well as your money debt
I know.
Oh yeah. Give it to the
because
librarian.
you got heisted.
Listen, like karmically, Emlyn has just like helped some people. So
Yeah.
what's a bit of stealing books between friends? You know, stealing important, crucial, ancient religious artifacts between friends.
Yeah, of course.
That won't go horribly at all.
No.
Heading northward towards Niflheim, you pass a very nice lake, the Ice Bellow Lake. You can see the moon reflecting onto it. Most of the shore is all frozen due to it being winter. You can see some small huts, little fishing lodges, as you make your way past up further north.
Is that a nice place to camp?
If you want, it is a bit out in the open. There's no thick trees around.
If you want to
Um,
camp, I can find us a nice place.
What time is it
Aye, sure.
when we get to the lake?
Roughly, I can't remember the timings of the other sessions, so I'm going to say like 12. As you've
12
been
at
traveling
night?
for 12 at night, yeah.
Okay, so like midnight.
Um,
I feel like that's a reasonable time to stop.
I can find a shelter with advantage
Nice.
using my hovel feet.
mhm, mhm.
Is Fig like uncomfortable going through the forest?
Yep.
If we're
Sure
off the beaten
is.
track? Yeah.
Do you want me to look for a new house?
Sure.
Yeah, I think as long as Fig is not too uncomfortable.
He'll try go like
We can't
almost
really-
outskirts of the forest.
Yeah, we can't
Yeah.
really travel around an open road because there's going to be an army out looking for us. So.
Yeah. 19.
19.
Although
Okay.
they only know what Fig looks like, but
He's really, no one. He's really common looking, so they won't.
yeah, it's no big deal.
They will have no idea.
So, as you are leaving Rorton, you hit Icebellow Lake. You look back at the city and you see now people begin to rush through the city, torches, riding horses and trampling up the place, seeing that it's all empty. You catch this very far in the distance as you find that this is probably the best time to find a place to sleep. They don't know which direction you're going. There's so much footprints. You know, who knows where anyone else has gone. As you're looking in the outskirts of the woods,
I want to find like an upturned tree or like a large hole.
so as you're looking for all this, you catch a glint of metal as someone walks the tree line. Keeping close to the shadows, a hooded figure looks on at you. He's taller than most, wearing simple thick wool coat, hood and boots, and in his hand he carries a shepherd's crook. He whispers forward. This place is not safe. The woods have been crying, as does the cities. The overlapping lands are in turmoil. Seek shelter in the tiny town of Wickmore. Follow the old logging trail on the next right. The spirit realm looks kindly upon you all. That's something at least. You hear the faint sounds of crying lambs.
Oh, the silence of the lambs up in here.
And he says, "Oh, best be off now." As he turns and fades deeper into the forest.
I know. Hold on. did this person approach all of us?
Fig mostly.
Just
you were-
Fig, yeah.
As you were seeing Fig look for stuff and following him, Fig, this is what you see and hear.
What, did I see his face?
No, it's all cloaked in shadow.
Can I insight check him? Be like, do the gods like us? I don't know. Are you sending us to your death? Who are these lambs? Can I insight check
Sure.
him?
Yeah.
Insight check. 25.
He seemed to be nice. There didn't seem any malicious. He's a bit weird, but didn't seem to sound malicious.
Okay, Fig's like, okay, thank you. Come on, guys, this way. Just starts going up the logging path.
And then in the distance is just like, I'm so. What was that?
Who was that?
I don't know, some guy with some sheep.
Okay.
Are you friends with him?
Well, we could be.
What did he say?
He said to follow the logging path. Is that what he said?
Mhm.
And the the gods or spirits or something are happy with us. So we have to go this way. He seemed trustworthy enough.
If a mysterious figure came up to me and told me to definitely follow a logging path, what I would do is follow anything but the logging path.
I mean,
know what I
trusting
mean?
strangers has always gone so well for me. I walk up the path.
I guess we'll just like continue on.
Okay.
Emlyn just in Fig's wake, like, what the fuck?
You make your way up the old logging route. Only a short walk up the path. You come to
Looking out for traps. Very
Okay,
suspicious.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
It's a 22.
Sure.
Emlyn is so paranoid that they're like pretty good at that.
So keeping an eye out for traps. The one thing you do notice, it is a bit eerie. You start seeing like a wooden palisade in front of you, and the first thing that catches Emlyn's eye is that outside the palisades is a graveyard. And you see one guard standing inside the palisades with a watchtower.
I'm really sorry, Sandy. What's a palisade? I just googled it and it's
sorry.
a car. What is it? I was like, this is wrong.
It's like a little
like
wall
wooden
fence
wall.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah,
So it's like like the logs facing up with the spikes on top.
it's like a wooden fence that's spiky, like you would get in like
Yeah.
an Iron Age. Yes,
It's
okay,
it's
I understand now.
chunky
Sorry,
fence.
Yeah.
chunky fence.
What does the guy look like who's standing up there?
Make a perception check.
I have the eyes like a hawk. 16.
16's still pretty good.
Okay.
You see a well-bearded fellow. He stands with a torch and a crossbow in one hand. He's wearing a very nice dwarven-style helmet. He doesn't seem to be wearing any tabard of anyone of note. It seems to be a pretty plain greenish tabard. And he says, "Well, come on in. You'll be wary from your travels, especially this time in the morning." As you see a dwarven guard come down and slowly open the gate.
Does Fig go in?
Yeah, he goes in.
Okay. Emlyn follows, but is like trying to hide. They're like, fuck, like they want to make sure Fig is okay, but like, I'm hiding.
I mean, you can make a stealth check if you want to like remain hidden.
It's
for
more,
sure.
it's yeah. I feel like for flavor, I should know whether or not that went well or very poorly. Oh my god, it was a 31.
So it's a natural 20, a 31.
Emlyn's
So
very
yes.
paranoid.
I mean, it's all lining up for, Emlyn's story. As you enter inside the gates, the walls themselves have seen some action, with arrows and spearheads lodged inside them, and lots of cuts from axes and swords, but nothing too recent.
Did the guy say what the name of this town was?
He did. He called it Wickmore.
Wickmore. Oops.
Like Wickmore.
And from looking on your map, this wasn't on the map.
Oh, do I get any sense this is another realm? Having been in them, do I know that this is some sort of other place?
What would that be? Make a wisdom check.
Okay. Nah, 10. I
Not
haven't even
really.
seen the map.
Yeah, so it just seems like a nice town. Who knows?
Alright.
Like the frogs, they were just a nice town.
Yeah, they were great. I love that town. I'm going to turn to the guy and say, "Excuse me, is this Wickmore?"
It is, aye. I don't get many people coming up this way, so if you're coming up this way, it must be for some purpose. As you enter, you pass over a small wooden bridge that crosses over a little babbling brook.
Emlyn's just like wading through underneath the bridge, hiding in the shadows. Everyone else is having a nice chill time.
I don't know, like Veda's a bit like, this is weird, but she's just keeping quiet and keeping an eye on everything.
Trying to figure out
okay,
where Emlyn's gone.
make a perception check, Veda.
Okay. 13?
13. Okay. Getting a good look around this area. It's dark, you're tired, a lot of shit is going down. You don't see too much stuff. Like, it's weird. It is a contained, tiny town. You see off to your left a barn, a house. As you walk over this bridge, to your right is a general store. And he seems to be leading
Is
you
it Brothers
up to...
Bluethorn?
This one is not.
It's
Just got a
their,
tiny,
like-
tiny rural town.
It's
and
their
just a
£1
Tesco,
bargain
like,
store.
what?
Yeah.
It's a competitor, it's small, local. These big conglomerates are just ruining the society.
It's actually got the logo that's kind of a bit of a rip-off. Blue spike.
Blue
don't
horn.
worry. Yeah, exactly. The font is a little bit off.
Yeah. As you see the general store, you see another smaller house on the left-hand side. It has a little farmstead inside of it. As you slowly approach this very nice built inn, and the wooden sign reads on the door, "The Book Inn." The dwarf says, "Yeah, just head inside and you'll be looked after. I have to go back to my watch now."
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. He trots off back to his watching post. Because this is the first moment now, being in this town, that you were alone in front of the inn.
Is there anyone walking around the streets?
No.
Okay. I suppose it's 12, so it's not that weird.
It's quite late, yeah.
Yeah. Shall we go in, I suppose?
Sure. Or we can go back to that. I did find a hovel. To be fair, I did find a little hole.
I think a bed sounds nicer.
I like the idea that Fig is like, these both seem as good as each other.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm hiding.
You know where Emlyn went? I thought they were right behind us, but...
Can I look around for Emlyn? See if I can beat that. I don't think I can even beat that stealth. Nope.
I mean, you can try.
I
Make a
can only...
perception
Nope.
check.
Yeah, roll it.
21.
Oh shit.
Nope.
Nope.
Emlyn still has the, like, send-in stone. Because they took it when they
Oh,
were up on
yeah.
the roof, so
Mhm.
Vada's just gonna,
Wait.
like, pick up the other one and be like, Emlyn, where are you?
I'm literally hiding behind you.
Oh,
I can hide behind a medium creature.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just, like,
Apparently.
just hiding behind Vada's skirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Veda like turns around and you see Emlyn like spinning with her,
Yeah, just every
Orbiting.
time.
orbiting her skirt.
Orbiting the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get some, like, feedback loop from the sending stones, like...
Yeah, you know, you're really very good at hiding. I had no idea you were there.
Thank you very much. I mean, it seems very creepy here, so just didn't want to die.
Yeah, that's understandable. Just stick close. I'm sure it's fine.
It's fine.
Mhm.
Gonna head into the inn.
Well, great. I guess we've all made our minds up. Where are we going to stay then? And Emlyn follows Fig into the inn.
The inn itself, heading inside, more looks like a bookshop than a place to rest. All the walls are just lined with books, and there's an occasional booths for eating, but in themselves are just created via books.
Do they look valuable?
That will take a good investigation to have a look through all
Yeah,
the books.
don't worry about it later. We can do it later.
The reception just seems to be lying in front of you, a side table with a sign-in book in front of a roaring hearth that's warm and welcoming when you enter in,
Is there anyone here?
as well as a used high-back chair and a knitting basket by the side of it. As you enter in, you see someone sitting there. You see a
Hello.
little old lady's face peek around, who's got these big, thick glasses, wispy, short hair, and she says, "Oh, hello. Here for a room?"
Yes, if you have any available.
"Ah, yes, of course. Come sign in, and we'll get you all set up."
Okay. Fig goes to sign in, and I just want to know what everyone's font looks like when they write. Because Fig's is all capitals and very like harshly put in. takes up like two lines.
When you say font, do you mean handwriting?
Yes.
That analog font.
Do you do Helvetica?
Like, I feel like Veda's handwriting is very, very cursive and very, very pretty and extra.
Oh. Emily comes out of the shadows to reluctantly sign the guest book. I think I described their handwriting before as like just sort of like little and like spiky maybe. It's like joined up, they write fast.
Doctor's
Like a
handwriting.
doctorate. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, they don't sign their real name. But maybe they don't come up with a very good fake name either because they were always kind of a crap criminal.
Memlin.
That's so much funnier than anything I was going to say, so yes.
They just
In
put an
fact,
extra M in
I
front
was
of
going
their
to say,
name.
they actually write their name and then they're like, fuck! And then they put an M in front of it instead.
And as she comes out of her seat, she's small for a human, a bit chubby, wearing nice knitted wear. You can see her sleeves are all rolled up for knitting, and you see tattoos of like quite worn tattoos of daffodils all up her arm.
Oh my god, she seems
She's
so
so
nice
cool.
and so cool, and Emlyn finds anyone nice and cool just very suspicious. Just not used to it at all.
And she says, "Well, my name's Daffodil. You can just call me Granny, though. If you just head up the stairs here to the room, it's all yours."
Thank you, Granny.
No worries. We will have food in the morning. Well, it's a bit late now, but I'll make something for around 10, so you get a good lie-in.
Thank you. It's very much appreciated.
That's not a problem. I hope you had not a lot of trouble getting here. I know it's a bit off the beaten track.
So, trying to realize if that's a funny way to put it or not. I feel like this is like some over the garden wall nonsense where it's like, you're here too soon. It's like, oh, they're all skeletons.
Emlyn is just like very tense and is just like, yes, everything's fine outside. There's no trouble in the town or anything, and we're gonna go to bed, and this is okay. All right, goodbye. In the most suspicious way possible.
Runs up the stairs and trips a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Heading upstairs, your room itself is clean, well kept, with only a few piles of books neatly placed in the corner. There are 4 good-sized beds in here with partitions, if you so wish to get some privacy, with a set of drawers and a basin on top of it.
Just gonna put it out. Should we do like some watches to make sure that none of us get taken?
I
Just in
definitely think we
case.
should. Yes.
Sure. It is a very strange town. I don't mind staying up for a little while. I've got a lot on my mind. I don't think I'll sleep straight away.
Alright. How big are the beds? How big
They're
is this room?
good-sized. It's like maybe 30 by 30. It's a big-sized room.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's like the majority in this like tall tower, top of it. It's just this whole big room.
Alright. Yeah, Veda, if you want to stay up, me and Emlyn could take some watches.
Agatha is also.
Oh
here.
shit, I forgot Agatha was there.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know if we want to force Agatha to watch out for us. Also, do we trust Agatha?
Also, you
Emlyn
know,
doesn't trust
she's
anyone.
if she's sleeping, it makes the book easier to steal, Emlyn.
Emlyn can definitely steal. We're like surrounded by books.
Just do like
Yeah.
the Indiana Jones thing where you like take it and then replace it with another one.
Yeah, apart from it's just being replaced with like jam sandwiches or something, because Emlyn doesn't have anything good or valuable.
Yeah, Agatha through this journey is pretty quiet and just goes with the flow. She doesn't know what's normal anymore, so
Alright. Okay, so if Veda's doing the first watch, Fig will do the second?
Yes, fine, good.
as y'all get into bed. It's very comforting and warm after the days that you've had. It's nice. It feels welcoming. As Veda, you sit up. Thank you.
It's like so lovely and homely, and Emlyn is like much more tense than they were when
You
they were
just see
saying some of
them-
their shit. They still have like they've got like more knives out, just like real close by.
Phaedra just looks around and sees the beds eating them because they're actually mimics, and
Yeah, it's actually the town's a mimic.
Oh my god.
oh god,
Emlyn sleeps under the bed with their covers. They've put like a fake person on the top. Extra precautions.
Amazing. So I have drawn a little map for you guys of Wickmore, what it looks like
It's cute.
on Roll20.
all of the fences
wanna
just
try.
mark out the mouth of the giant mimic that
Yeah, it's like a
lays beneath.
Sarlacc pit, and like they're all like attached via
Yeah.
like, just the
It-
hole.
I mean, at the same I feel like I'm acting Emlyn because I'm like, haha, this would be funny, but at the same time, like, I feel like the way that Sandy does things, the nicer it seems, the more tense I am as a player. So, kinda
Never trust Sandy when he's being nice.
in it.
It's just a life lesson.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, so what does Veda think about if she's so much on her mind? Obviously, playing that scene out might be something, but is there anything else on Veda's mind, or what does Veda do for the 2 hours that she's up?
She'll get herself like changed in her PJs and like wash her face and stuff and sit. Is there a chair or anything in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll
There's
just
like
she'll just like curl herself up in a chair and just kind of sit and keep an eye on things. She's just, mulling over the harsh realities of war that are getting like brought down on a lot of people.
Mhm.
Kind of wishing she had a glass of whiskey.
Could always go try find if necessary.
She doesn't want to leave everybody while she's keeping watch.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Go out and come back in, the room's just empty.
Now. Okay.
Try to roll
So yeah,
perception.
you're just pondering over all these thoughts and
Yeah. Just,
unsure of what's to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite quiet. As the early morning comes in, you are trying very, very hard to stay awake, making sure everyone's not disappearing or being eaten, or keeping your ears out for the sound of a whole war band coming and ruining this weirdly pleasant town. Eventually, you wake Fig to take his watch.
Just flops down on her bed, crashes out immediately.
What's Fig get up to?
I think he's gonna look out the window. Is there a window in the room?
Yes, there is. And you can look out into the town.
Yeah. I think he's gonna keep a lookout for anything unusual.
Sure. Make a perception check.
16. Oh, I'm not rolling well. For
Yeah,
Fig
plus
anyway.
8 as well.
Yeah, I know.
Damn. 16. Okay. You take a look out. As the earlier morning comes, you start seeing some people leave. Like 4 or 5 in the morning. Some people actually exit the town. All different shapes and sizes. Some people go up to the well in the center of the town, taking some water, bringing it back to their house. It seems nice. You hear some early morning birds, the crying of lambs.
Crying in what sense? Like bleating or
Yeah.
being murdered? Okay.
just the sound of
They
lambs
don't
getting murdered in
abruptly
the
end.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, pleating.
Okay.
Just
Can I
being
see the
all
lambs?
Like, meh.
This is not the season for lambs.
It's winter.
Where'd they get these lambs from?
Lamb season.
I want to investigate the lambs.
Or I should say sheep rather than lambs.
Okay.
I always think of them as lambs. But yeah, sheep.
Okay. Can I see the sheep?
You cannot.
Okay.
As Fig quickly comes to realize, it might be too cold for them outside.
Oh, the inside.
You see someone across the way going into looks to be like a barn.
Okay.
And you can hear that's where they're all coming from.
I don't know if I can use my animal sound thing, the furbog nonsense from here.
No, you'd have to like look at them or touch them or.
I think I'm assuming I have to be relatively close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you get a vibe from them.
Yeah. Vibe check the lambs.
Vibe check the sheep.
Uh-huh. I don't know what he's really thinking about. I think he's a bit confused because they did this thing and they were supposed to do this thing and it's supposed to be good, but a lot of people are mad and a lot of people are scared. And he's like, that's not what happens when you do good things. So he's a bit like, wait, what did we just do? But he's also like, it's nice to be. He's also mad that he's having to stay in a town when he'd rather be in the woods, but he's too scared to be in the woods, so he has to be in a town. So he's just like, I'm just fucking the worst druid. Scared of forests. But then he's like, oh, what are the sheep doing? So.
Oh, there's sheep here.
Yeah, there's sheep here. Easily distracted. That's his
So
watch.
yeah, he can't quite understand the complexities of a war on multiple levels.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels like Fig is very black and white with that sort of thing. Things are good or things are bad. You've done good, why does it feel bad? Kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it's just things aren't lining up to how he would think that they would line up.
Mm-hmm. You're not being as celebrated as you normally would be
Yeah.
for doing a
Like,
good
people
thing.
seemed happy, but they're also scared and having to run away.
Mm-hmm. So as you ponder about this, your time quickly comes to an end as you catch some extra Z's.
Wake up, Emlyn.
Is Emlyn waking up as well?
Yeah.
So it's roughly 6ish in the morning as you awaken. It's still dark. What would Emlyn
I feel
like
like
to do?
Emlyn almost feels like the opposite of Fig. I think they're used to everything being so complex if they try and involve themselves that for them this situation is like more clear cut a good thing than they're used to.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think they assumed that there couldn't possibly be a net positive because the situation is so complicated, whereas this seems like it was a good thing that they did. Also, they are, of course, looking for the most valuable and rare-looking books.
Okay.
They're thinking about this, but they're also looking for books for their book debt. They're like, wow, I'm such a good person. Things are really looking up. I am making a difference in the world while they're looking for books to steal.
The one particular book or just in the room? Or...
In the room, I want to find whatever looks like most like it would repay my horrifying librarian debt.
Make a investigation check.
23.
God, Emily kills it, dude.
Yes.
Unreal.
I'm only doing things that are the exact check that I can be good at. They don't know what's going on. They have no wisdom.
Yeah.
But...
okay, so you go through the pile of books that are in this room, flicking through some general fiction. You find...
accidentally getting stuck in. Ooh,
Yeah,
this one's a
start reading
vampire.
a couple.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of books does Emma like to read,
Oh my god.
if any? I'm sure they do, but...
Yeah. I think maybe they're like aren't maybe where they're from. There aren't so many different kinds of books available, and they kind of have read a lot of the stuff in the library, but mostly just because Emlyn is like maybe a bit of a daydreamer, right? If they like when they were younger, like that was more interesting to them than like doing work or school.
Yeah.
Or anything like that, which is maybe why like later on they ended up a bit like stuck for direction. So I think they kind of will pick up and read like any old thing. I think they're more interested in fiction than non-fiction, and so
Okay.
definitely like they just like start reading a page of like any book, any genre, and they're like, oh, what's gonna happen? Who did it? Or like, yeah,
Yeah. I feel like Emlyn definitely likes like a mystery book.
yeah, I think so. But they're always wrong about who did it.
That is literally me. If like I've watched like Poirot like the same thing like a million times. Like there's the Murder in the Orient Express. Like we went to see the new film, and I was like, I've seen this book, I've watched the show, I have no idea who did it.
Yeah.
And it's a thrill every time.
That's how I feel. I also feel like, obviously that's like, there's some mystery books like Agatha Christie stuff where they're really trying to misdirect you, so you don't know what's going to happen at the end. But there's also like books where you're kind of supposed to figure out what's going on. It's just like a crime novel. And Emlyn also does not guess the ending for those ones either.
Yeah, so you find a variety of books. Like there's no order to why they're here, or there's no genre specific in this room. There's just, here's a census, and then here's a coloring book that's been like half done. There's some children's books, then there's like some hard erotica just like placed on top. It's like, why is, and like the level of disorderly is quite like confusing and can be quite upsetting. Make a what would Emlyn consider a valuable book for the library?
I was trying to remember if like there's not a particular thing I'm trying to get or have been sent to get. Is there?
No.
Oh God.
He just wants something valuable. He knows any information that lies within his realm, which is the library.
Bring back erotica.
I mean, I feel like I don't know if Emily really even gets the right end of the stick. They're just trying to look for something that looks like old or unusual or like non-fiction, I guess.
Okay. I think like a census of a very specific weird town might be something he would be interested in.
Yeah, sure.
Or medical tomes of fey creatures.
Yeah. Well, if you want, I can roll and you can decide whether or not Emily has got the right end of the stick about like what is useful to the library.
What would that be? I guess it would be intelligence. Yeah, I would say an intelligence check to figure out.
Yeah, like straight intelligence. I think that makes sense. That's a 5.
Maybe he would like.
I think that's in character. Yeah.
Maybe he would actually like to know how to bake a muffin. Maybe the complete history of baking in Ravenfort might be good.
Yeah.
A town famous for baked goods.
I think maybe Emily's just panicking, so they're like, baking? That seems great. Baking? Yeah, sure.
It has nothing to do with that. It's early in the morning. You haven't eaten in a while. A muffin sounds great right now.
Double down on erotic baking.
Erotic baking. That sounds terrifying.
Penis cakes.
You get some burns.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that just like penis cakes, or is it like... well, again...
Yeah, is the cake erotic, or is it just like a pin-up calendar of people baking in erotic ways?
Both.
There's both,
yeah.
right? Depending on where you look in the place. Yeah.
There's a plethora of things that we could delve into with erotic baking, but...
Let's not.
Maybe if it... Oh my god.
Vada's not even here to give her 2 cents, so
I'm trying to think about whether Emlyn would try and go and ask whether they can buy the books or not. Emlyn's not that clever. So they take the book about baking. They've taken it already, sneakily as they can, from the room. It's in their bag. And then they go and ask if the books are for sale.
Okay. Do you head downstairs now, or do you...
I think right towards the end of the watch when they know that it's like getting closer to 10 or like the sun is fully up and everyone is maybe going to start to stir soon, so they think it's safe.
It's like that weird moment when you're over at a friend's house and you wake up before them and then you just kind of sit around not knowing where anything is.
Reading like half a book of crime fiction and then being like, right, shit, I'm taking watch, right.
You eventually head downstairs. You get the smell of fresh bacon and eggs and some freshly baked bread as you come downstairs.
Maybe I also want to like, before I come down properly, I want to like kind of get are there other rooms like They want to like quietly kind of sneak around just to see like what else is here.
This is the only room upstairs that
Okay.
leads directly into this, and then downstairs is just like a labyrinth of books that seems to go in a big L shape. And then as soon as you enter into this building, it's the reception, and then just like books. I don't know if people have ever been in like those old bookshops. There's just like piles and piles of books on floors, and just rows and rows and rows of bookshelves. So it's very easy for like Emlyn to get lost or scared, because most of these towering book towers are taller than you. It's just a fun visual to look down on.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think they do want to go and ask whether they can buy books.
Okay.
I think that's legit. I think Emlyn is trying to be good. They've only taken one, and I think that's very reasonable.
As you approach her, Daffodil.
Oh my god, do you think this is like this is definitely a trap, right? Like these people are so nice and they've accepted us into their town, and Emlyn's just gonna like steal some books, and that means like the true evil of the town, they're gonna absolutely like flip on us.
It's like we're gonna leave and there'll be like a barrier and you can't leave. Then they're all just gonna like start screeching and like
Right,
deforming.
100%.
Like
So you like mentioned over the garden wall, and now I'm like, yes, it doesn't matter. It's in
there's even
character.
a
Emlyn's gonna do
graveyard
it anyway.
outside.
Yes. 100%.
Oh my god, does one of them say daffodil?
Don't know yet.
We didn't look.
It's too. I'm really sorry. It's too late. Emlyn's already gone to talk to her.
As she turns around with like eating on the corpses of past residents.
Emlyn's like, I knew it.
I knew I'm gonna die now.
I fucking knew it.
As
I
this, like,
always knew
playing
I
out-
would go this way.
As you play this out on your head, as you slowly walk around a corner, smelling like the quite delicious smelling bacon, but not sure if it's like, people or
Is it
Why not?
bacon? Yeah. Okay.
People
human
bacon.
bacon. You turn the corner. She catches your eye. And she says, "Oh, hello."
Hey, good morning. My friends are still asleep. I was just I'm from somewhere where there aren't as many books as this, and it's so nice to be somewhere like this, and I was just wondering whether or not they're for sale, or...
No, you could just take them. We don't get that many people here, so it's fine. As long as it's not too many, I do like some of them.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand.
You can take them.
I mean, I know I can take them, but what am I supposed to do?
She cocks her head at you, smiles, and says, "Just any one that you want. Just have a look at it, and maybe I can regale a tale of books read and where I found it, and I haven't got much longer in this world. What am I going to do with a couple of copper?"
Are you in this world? Who knows?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why is everyone so nice here? What's really going on?
Nothing is going on. Just people who seek a quieter life, away from it all.
That seems very reasonable of you. I'm sure we'll all be down for breakfast soon, and it'll be lovely. I'm
I feel
watching
like
you.
Emlyn's very close to her.
Emlyn does that gesture of like, 2 fingers. They're watching.
I have this horrible feeling that nothing's wrong with the town. It's just Sandy knows that we'll be
No,
scared.
yeah. I don't
And like that's just
I don't
showing how
think there
terrified
is.
we are of him. That he can't even have nice things.
I definitely don't think there's anything wrong with the town, but Emlyn does.
I do.
Emlyn goes to like hunt around the rest of the
So
books
scared.
downstairs, looking for things that might be rare, but still like glancing up, checking for traps.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Okay. That's a 10.
You're panicking. Heavily panicking. Not just because of the place or the people, but there's some very nice books that you think you might want, but they're on a big tower of books, and it's like almost like Jenga. You're just like, not worth the risk.
I can climb things. But I think I am
Ask
definitely
Fig to
like...
pass you things.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
terrified on a sort of like emotional level, though. Yes.
It's not because you could potentially climb, the bookshelves, but it's just like I was going to say raw books.
The raw books.
It's
That
raw.
mining the books from the ore.
Free range.
Free range books. Yeah, that are just lying around precariously placed.
Yeah, I think Emlyn grabs some more non-fiction books, but if anything, they're like less inclined to take them now.
Mm.
But it's legit. It's not
Uh,
a situation familiar to them.
Yeah, I feel like you pick up a poetry book of military poems that people talked about, and they tell tales of war in Zundaria. People further afield spreading the word of the Empire. You also pick up a book on the canal systems in the Valley of Lulia that might be somewhat interesting, and a book on the fishing techniques of fishermen in the Tuscana Sea.
Okay, cool.
So nothing like insane, but you might like it.
Yeah. Okay.
This Eldritch demon might like to fish. I don't know.
It's really their fault for not being more specific about what Emlyn should be getting, so...
Just general non-fiction. People like writing about weird stuff. So we'll say some time passes. Emlyn, you go through all these books, take them with you, but very weirdly put them into your bag.
just incredibly suspiciously. And then, you get like a cut back to like Daffodil just like waving and smiling at Emlyn as they're like furtively putting books away.
Just, yeah.
She's just like giving Emlyn a really strong thumbs up while they're like sweating.
Hands you a nice bacon roll. You're just like sweating profusely.
Yeah. Is this poisoned? Fuck.
As everyone eventually wakes up. Emlyn's having a panic attack.
You come downstairs and Emlyn is like sweating, but also they're just like, again, halfway through a book.
They're just like eating a bacon sandwich in one hand and sweating and reading through a book.
Yeah, like they seem like they should be
Dabbing
really
their
chill.
forehead with their bread.
Yeah, they're like they're sitting at one of the little tables in like a little chair made of books, and they're like reading a really fun-looking kids' book about about like magical witches, and they're like, eating a bacon roll, but they look so uncomfortable. They look like incredibly unhappy.
It's like you just like shaking turn looking at them, like eyes super tired and just, like so worn out. Like,
Light
help
filtering
me.
through the window. Beautiful morning.
Yeah.
You're right, Emlyn.
I think we need to get out of here.
Can we have breakfast first?
Yes, have breakfast. It's fine.
Vida is gonna talk to Daffodil when she comes down.
Sure.
I thank you for the room and food. How much money do we owe you?
That's fine. There's a few tasks actually through town. If that would be payment enough, if
Okay.
you could just help us out a little bit.
Oh, God. Are we going to keep getting tasks until we're stuck here forever?
God, you're so paranoid.
So paranoid!
I also wanted to ask you if you knew how long it takes to get to Nittelheim from here,
From here?
just on
Well.
foot.
It would be a couple of days from here.
Okay,
Not too long.
that's fine. I just wanted to know.
Is there anything else?
What are the tasks that need doing in town?
Well, there's a couple of repairs to the wall. Potentially, Kaylee needs some help with the sheep. If anyone is inclined to help clean out some of the stables, James would be happy with that. Or anyone would like to go out hunting with Poe. She says, Poe, would you like to come round? And you see, coming out behind a kitchen, you see him cleaning off his hands. A dark-skinned human wearing some, chef-ish attire as he's sharpening a blade. Hello there. Nice to see you. Name's Poe. I'm the cooker / hunter. If there's anyone that can hunt, would save me the task today. Or we can go out together and have a look.
Okay, well, I'll talk to my friends and see what they're comfortable with. I don't mind hunting. I would rather do that than clean out stables or fix a fence.
You and me both.
I
As he
have a
goes back
crossbow.
and starts. He goes back to cooking.
Okay, go get some food and sit with Emlyn and Fig and be like, so we have some jobs that need doing in town maybe to help out since we stayed.
Alright. What are they?
Helping with the sheep, fixing a fence, cleaning out stables, hunting, things like that.
Well, I like 3 of those things.
Emlyn, are you okay? You look a little pale.
Everything's fine. Also, things got very tense in this book.
What's happening?
They have to fight a chimera. One of them's lost one of their shoes, and so she's... Oh no, it's alright, she's found her shoe. It's like, it's literally like, it's a picture book. Emma's just very tense and emotionally involved. Sorry, they've got to the end of the book, they put it down now. Yeah. I mean, that all sounds fine. Those are all things that I had to do at home, you know?
Yeah, I said I would probably rather go hunting than the rest because, you know, manual labor is not exactly my forte. But I don't mind really. I'll do whatever I need to.
Hunting is probably what I'm going to be best at.
Well, do
you
you
know
want
what?
to do that?
Emily's definitely done hunting, but it's just poaching. That's definitely just what they used to do. They're really good with a bow. That's what they were doing when they were like 19.
Game.
Yeah, and all of the other stuff is like, people wouldn't give Emlyn a real job. So they'd sort of do stuff that was like, we'll just get them out of the way. Do you know what I mean? Their parents were going around being like, please, if you've got any odd jobs on the farm, just please give them to Emlyn. They need money. They can't really hold a job down.
Well, I'm good at hunting, but I'm happy to do anything with animals. I mean, I can do the stable and the sheep if you guys want to do the hunting one.
Sure.
I'll do wherever they need me most. I can do all of those things, not very well.
Okay, well,
I've got a lot of experience at doing all of those things, but just very poorly. So.
I suppose let's just ask what they want us to do. See where we'd be most useful. And then let them decide who goes where.
As you hear doof, 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 as you see Agatha, full clad in armor, walking down the stairs.
Here to fix your fences.
Yeah.
She better want to fix a fence because no one wants to do that, so she can have the poo-poo job.
Morning, Agatha. How are you feeling?
Fine, sore, but not too bad.
We might have some odd jobs to do today.
I'm fine with that. I'm so used to just putting on armor, but it's quite uncomfortable.
I'm just so
Well,
used
why
to
don't
putting up
you-
fences.
Why don't you give your body a break from armor today? Just wear regular clothes. Little less weight.
One problem. Does anyone have regular clothes?
Uh,
I have padded armor, and then I have a tiny tunic, but it seems cold outside. You really have...
I have some, but maybe not very practical.
Oh
I'll
my
have a
god,
look.
Agatha and like a...
Sparkly dress.
Putting up fences in a sparkly dress.
Who would she?
Veda would not let her do that.
Whose clothes would she fit the most?
Probably figs.
Does he have a change of clothes? He's got. Hold on. He might have a spare set. But then
Does Agatha
again,
want to wear Fig's clothes?
they're
It's
very
another
mossy
important question.
smelling.
Mm-hmm.
Stinky.
She says, I'll maybe just have a look around town and see if I could just wear
Oh, I
something."
do. He does. He's got traveler clothes. I've got these, and he pulls out just like ragged ass. Might not even necessarily fit him, but just like raggedy old clothes that smell like dirt and probably have dirt and maybe are growing mushrooms. It's comfy enough.
Well, I don't.
Maybe we should wash them.
Yes, I think we should. I don't think I have much in the way of practical clothes for you, but I do have a nice warm hat. For
I'd love
big
seeing Veda
furry
putting on a
hat.
hat.
Big furry hat for when we were going up the mountains.
She says,
Put that on
well,
Agatha's
that's
head.
something at least.
So at least your ears will be warm.
She smiles. So we don't think this town is a threat? Or
Don't think so.
I mean, I want to ask the animals what they think.
I'm not sure I'd be that confident that the town's not a threat. These people are letting me take these books.
That's nice of them.
She said I could just take any of the ones I wanted.
Maybe I'll have a look through them before we leave. I need something to keep me occupied
No, I
in the
mean,
evenings.
don't you think that's suspicious?
Not really.
No.
If they're not valuable, she's already read them. That's not
I'm
so
just
strange.
sweating.
A lot of inns do that sort of. You know, you can bring a book that you've read and swap it for one you haven't. That kind of thing. Do they
And
not do
some
that
other
where you're from?
inns, you sleep in the inn, and when you wake up, all your stuff is gone. That's also the kind of place that exists.
Well, is all your stuff gone?
That's not the point, is it? It's the atmosphere. This is. Emma's just swaying, quietly swaying.
Yeah, I know it's weird, but you know, a lot of things that have been happening recently are weird. I think I'm just going to accept it and see what happens because everything's going to shit anyway. Let's just make the most of it.
you hear a knocking at the inn door and someone comes on and you see a blue tiefling woman with a shepherd's crook and a young boy comes barreling through another small blue tiefling, and she says, Daffodil, could you look after Harris for me for a little bit? She says, "Hi, it's fine, I can do that. You can also help Poe in the kitchen." He says, "Yeah!" And he just like charges through, very excited. And she looks over at you guys, the guests. Says, "Oh, hello. How are you?"
Morning. Yeah,
Morning.
good,
Was she
thank
the
you.
lady? Do I recognize her crook?
Make a history check.
Oh. Oh, that's a one. No idea. Never seen her before in my life.
Yeah, not sure. It could be just the one that you saw was just. Was it a crook or was that a scythe?
He's also just like, I think the kid came in yelling and like a dog. He's like, huh? Huh?
Starts barking, chasing. And
Yeah,
running around.
his little tail's wagging. And he's like, oh, everything just got very exciting in here.
Oh, that's so cute.
As Daffodil says, "Oh, potentially you can have some help on the farm today, if you so wish. You may just ask them. They stayed in the inn, and they said they could help around." And Kaylee, the blue tiefling, says, "Oh well, great. I've have to clean some stuff up and get some shearing done today. So if anyone has experience in that, you're most welcome to come."
Fig leans over to Veda and's like, what's a shearing?
It's when they take wool off sheep, I think.
But that belongs to them.
But if you don't shear it, then they get too hot.
Oh, I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah, yeah.
So it's helping out the sheep, and you also get wool to make sure that people can stay warm.
Oh, well, it's a win-win then.
It is, yes.
I don't know how to do that. I molt.
I mean, it kind of depends on how big the sheep are, whether or not I'd be able to help with that, I feel like.
Well, if you have time, come by. I'm just down at the bottom of the road. And she goes off, continuing on her tasks as you see this little blue tiefling with like very curly horns running around, and just Daffodil's happily letting him just run amok through her shop.
Oh. Fig's like, I want to play.
He's just like spinning and like running around. He's not listening to anyone. He's just going a bit wild.
Okay, well, I guess if no one else is going to do it, I'll just help shear some sheep.
Right, Vader, you can go hunting if you want to.
I don't mind. I just need something to do. I'm going to make sure I'm not wearing anything that I care about getting stinky though. I think Vader will just go help shear sheep if Fig's not sure about it.
Sure.
I don't want to work anymore. I want to play games.
Well, maybe if you do a bit of work now with things where maybe if you help with the fences or something, so anything that where you being big might help, then maybe we could play later.
I mean, if they want me to help with that.
I'm sure you can go and ask them.
Okay.
Do you want me to go with you?
Ask Daffodil. Daffodil, who needs help with the fences?
You could go see Brody. He's at the general store. It's the first one you came in, or just over the bridge.
Okay.
Go see him. He'll give you a hammer and nails.
Oh, shit. Can he build things? He's strong, but... Who knows? We'll see, we'll see.
Sorry, I didn't mean to railroad you. Fig can go and do whatever. Emlyn was just trying to be helpful.
Well, he wanted to help with the sheep, but the sheep are shearing, and he doesn't know how to do that, but he does know how to clean...
Yeah, but
things.
they need someone to hold the sheep still. I think if you're enthusiastic, everyone go and follow their dreams. It's D&D. It's a fantasy. You can do whatever you want. You can go hunting if you want
Shear
to.
those
You can help
sheep.
shearing sheep if you so desire, yeah.
It's true.
He's like, Veda,
Uh-huh.
I want to help with the sheep.
Okay. You can help with the sheep.
Oh my god. The idea
Vader's
of
like,
Fig-
thank fuck, I did not want to do that.
The idea of Vader like reluctantly going off to shear the sheep and Fig's like little ears have just gone down because he was so excited about the sheep. Oh my god.
You can go help with the sheep, Fig, that's fine.
Are we going now? He says to the blue tiefling lady.
She's gone.
Fig, he'd run to catch up with her.
Yeah, he just goes, like he goes.
Wait for me!
He's like, bah, bah, bah.
Yeah, you see her. She's just walking down the road as you start chasing after her.
He's like, wait, I'm coming, I have the sheep.
Oh, perfect. I'll just need someone to hold the sheep, and make sure they're happy enough.
I'll make sure that they're happy and held.
I really like the idea of Fig just like hugging, like clinging onto them.
He's
to
like,
keep them calm.
It's like paying him like, shh,
It won't be
it's okay. He's like, this is so much more violent than I thought it would be.
Which presumably it's not electric shears, so...
Yeah, I know,
No.
but they're really fast. Like, if you're like really good at shearing, you're just like, bah, like you
Right,
just go. I don't know about doing it with hands though. Don't know how
Yeah,
fast they
it's
go.
like-
I imagine you'd be quite fast.
Uh,
Got some scissors.
Yeah.
It's good.
yeah, got big shears, but
Yeah.
yeah, it takes some time. We'll say, as you are in there, it's roughly like 20 sheep that has to be sheared. They're all just getting to their max, like winter coat, and you sit there holding.
When I see them, I'm going to cast Talk of Animals, Speak of Animals. Is gonna go, hello everybody!
Oh, hello.
I'm going to help shear you today. I hope that's okay.
They'll
No,
start,
don't
like,
worry about it. It's going to be fine. I will be there for you to hold you and make sure everything is alright.
Make an animal handling check with advantage.
Natural 20.
That's 28.
I am the sheep whisperer.
Yeah. It becomes so much easier for Kaylee to start shearing the sheep as you literally handle the animals with care, and they seem to trust you and as you hold them. You don't even need to hold them hard, they just kind of trust you.
Just pat their head.
And
Yeah, he's just like petting them, just like, you're a good sheep.
and I imagine it's like a salon, like you're just like the
And
hairdresser. Just,
got
like,
any
speaking to
plans for
them.
your holidays then?
Yeah. And they all seem quite happy here. They typically just roam around the entirety of the town, walking around free. But because it's winter, they get pretty cold. And today's shearing day, so they weren't allowed out.
No. He's like, it's gonna be a little bit cold when you first feel it, but it'll feel nice, I think. Like when you get a haircut. You can feel the wind on your head. But your whole body.
Feel the wind on your butt.
Yeah.
And they all just calmly, slowly get sheared throughout the day. It's a lot quicker. It takes a good couple hours though.
I feel like he just does not really talk to the lady much.
Yeah, she's like smiling the whole time, just working away.
She's like, oh, this is so much easier.
Yeah.
Used to getting kicked a few times.
And she's not a bulky woman. She's quite slender. So actually, doing this seems to be a God-given treat to actually have someone large here to do it. I would have preferred to see Veda attempt this, but
That would have been funny.
so what are Emlyn and Veda getting up to then?
I feel like unless there's like a real, like people really need help elsewhere, I feel like Emlyn is going to be best at hunting. So maybe that's what they do. So I guess we go and talk to, is it Poe?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like before we go, Emlyn can't help but like trying to stop the books falling on, is it Harris, the wee boy?
Yeah.
Or just like has a moment where they're like, have you wiped your feet before you come here?
Yeah, he's definitely trudging like, soggy mud through like the main foyer of the town or the bookshop.
You come back here right now. All right.
Ooh, make an intimidation check.
Oh fuck.
See if he listens to you.
Parenting check. I don't think my intimidation is any good at all, which again I think maybe works with a character. It's a 19.
Oh,
I have
Emlyn
some
went parent
parenting
mode.
skills actually.
Yeah. The stern Emlyn comes out. He comes over, head drooped, as you come and tell him off.
Here, you just wipe them here. That's right. And now you're allowed to run around. But you can't let anything fall on your head. You can see how tall those towers are. I guess maybe the child is the same height as me.
Yeah. Yes.
On you go now.
He still runs around, but is like less enthusiastic and
Oh no.
but in like not a sad way, like, oh, I've just been told off, but it's okay. And like he eventually calms down and just goes to read a book. And Daffodil says, typically I just let him go amok. I don't have the energy to catch up with him. So thank you actually for that.
No, I can sympathize.
What is it you be getting up to today then?
I mean, honestly, I think I'm just going to be best if I'm hunting. I
Very
feel
well.
like I might get a bit in the way if it's anything else, unless they really need me.
No, well, these are just tasks for the day. Just
Am I
Like I
strong?
said.
Oh no, I've got a -1. Yeah. Well,
the task will get done nonetheless, but maybe just a bit slower. Poe, what's your name? Sorry, Memlin, was it?
yes, it's Memlin.
Memlin's going to help you out in the forest today.
And
Great.
Veda, I think.
Perfect. If both of you are coming, we can set up a good few traps then. Maybe get some deer for dinner for everyone, depending on how the day goes.
Yes.
Sure. I don't mind if other things need doing, I'll do them, but if you need extra hands, I'll come with you.
Extra hands makes light work.
Alright then.
Food is pretty much important to living, so I'm sure Brody and James will be fine doing their own things.
I do quite like the image of Veda like clearing out a stable.
Yeah. Hair tied up and just like groggily
Grim
moving.
determination.
She'd
Yeah.
do it, but I feel like it would take her a long time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It'd
Wait,
be like the
don't we both have very low strength?
Oh yeah, Veda's is -3. She's like weaker than
you
you.
do have the
I
gauntlets.
do. But I don't think she wants to shovel a stable badly enough to put them on, so...
Amazing. Okay. So, with Emlyn and Veda heading out with Poe into the nearby woods, to do a bit of hunting. Who would like to do survival checks to find some tracks? As you're going through, you're also setting up some typical traps. He, does some snares, checks some other snares that he's already set up. He gets rabbits all set up and ready to travel back to town.
I mean, I think
it is
Emlyn
survival
knows the land.
+3.
Yeah, okay, but so in the fiction, Emlyn is not familiar with this land,
Yeah.
so they're definitely going to let someone else take the lead.
All of this
Veda's
is what
not, like-
Fig is best at.
Yeah, Veda's not like great at, being out in the.
Okay,
woods
but
and
your
stuff.
survival is 3.
Yeah.
My survival is 0.
Bards, yo.
Please,
Jack of all
it's not
trades.
just bards. You're just like very good at everything. But again,
Yeah,
in the
Veda's
fiction,
got really good stats.
in the fiction, Emlyn doesn't know
Yeah.
the land, so
Let's say Veda's just naturally kind of observant.
Yeah.
She's just like,
Exactly, like-
there's
that's
like
true. Yeah.
there's like a broken twig and some footprints.
So you want to roll survival with advantage?
17.
17. That's pretty good. With Emlyn knowing somewhat of hunting and having Poe there, you're able to point out fresh tracks of a set of deer running through. As you start tracking it after a little while, as Poe says, right, we have to be some quiet now. We're going to try and get some deer. As you see them off into the distance. If y'all want to make stealth checks.
29.
Yeah.
9.
Okay.
Veda's hair is too bright.
It's true. Literal fire. Is there deer stats?
I bet there are. I
Yeah,
feel like
you're
they're
good.
probably quite perceptive because they're prey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
We'll see. They might. Okay. They're not that perceptive, but perceptive enough. So, as Emlyn, you start sneaking up after one, Veda the other. Veda, you have a crossbow, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you put your bolt in your crossbow and you reload it, and it cocks. As your deer puts his head up and starts running, Emlyn, you start slowly approaching, get pretty close. I'll say Veda can make an attack at disadvantage and Emlyn an attack at advantage, or a regular. Or advantage because you're stealth.
Can we both?
Yeah.
Okay.
22.
Oh my god, I did really bad. That's a 12, huh?
Emlyn
Veda's not very
perfectly
stealthy,
sneaks
but she's a
up.
crack shot.
Absolutely
Emlyn perfectly
fucks
sneaks
it.
up,
Yeah.
pulls the bow back. Perfect shot. It raises its head, and the arrow just shoots underneath it. As Veda shoots crossbow and hits. You want to roll damage?
And then sneaks up very, very quietly, lets loose a shot. Veda noisily actually kills it.
Yeah.
6.
As 6 damage for the deer, drops it as you nail it right in the head, and falls over. As Emlyn, it's now spooked and running. I'll say you can get one more shot onto it because you have a long-ranged weapon.
Okay. Oh my god. That's not
15
advantage, is
hits.
it? Okay.
And no, 15 hits though.
Okay. Do I get sneak attack?
Unfortunately, no. You're not stealthed anymore. So as you launch forward, you still nail it as it was running away, and both the deer lie there dead. Success. All round a success. But does Emlyn count as a success?
Yeah, I feel like
Yes.
Emlyn spent a long time like bragging about how good they were at it, and now they feel like a little bit embarrassed.
As Poe, with rabbits hanging from his side, he says, well, that's great. We have 2 deer that will feed us for a while. How are we going to carry them? I can carry one. Can you get the other?
I'm sure together we can do it.
Yeah. Emlyn, do you still have those gauntlets in your bag?
Oh yeah, do I?
Yeah.
I give them to Veda.
Sure you don't want them?
No, what do they do?
Make
They
stronger.
give your strength to 19.
Yeah, I feel like Vader is more disadvantaged at strength, even though we're both at Do you know what I mean? We're both pretty bad at it,
Yeah,
but Vader is very bad at it. So
she's terrible.
Vader gets the gauntlets.
Okay.
So Veda plonks on these gauntlets of strength and can now just solo carry a deer. You feel incredibly strong.
Might start wearing these more often.
And like even like your shoulders, holding a deer on your shoulders just feels so light.
I bet she
Even
looks,
moving through
she looks
snow.
ridiculous though, because she's got like no muscle in her arms.
Yeah. Or it
Little-
looks
little
badass.
tiny noodle arms.
Incredibly like graceful, carrying an enormous deer somehow.
God rays coming down.
Yeah.
You know, it's a majestic sight. Yeah, as he's now carrying the deer on a pole with his rabbit to the side, slowly trudging through. As Veda just, even walking through snow is just so much easier, and you can move a lot quicker, and you just start running with this deer on your back.
Veda's stats are fucking insane. She's got those gauntlets on.
As you make into your way back to town. A bit later in the afternoon, you see 4 or 5, roughly the time that you see Fig appearing out of the barn with a couple of happy sheep bleating
He's like, bye sheep. He waves to them.
as you and Kaylee walk out there as well and wave towards Poe and Emlyn and Veda coming in. He says, wow, that's a great haul. Poe's, yeah, they're a pretty good shot. Who would have thought?
I have no idea what you mean.
Veda, how are you lifting that deer?
I'm very strong, Fig.
He believes it.
Yeah. He's like, damn, yeah, damn.
No question from Fig.
Nope.
Yeah.
Accepts it.
And you see Agatha with a larger orc woman, hammering away at some of the fences, fixing them up.
Veda will go see if she can help with that now that they're back. While she's strong.
What was the last thing? Looking at the stables.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. Like, it's fine. No, I'll help with something.
Yeah, as you approach up to the inn, you see a couple of the stables off to the side. It seems to be all cleaned out and done. You see
Thank God. Okay, cool. You see Emlyn like performatively walk towards them and then sort of go like throw their arms up like, oh, too late, I suppose. This time.
and you just see them brushing some of the horses.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah.
I feel like Veda is just like picking up large bits of wood and like squatting it and just like, you know, using the strength and
Might
showing
as well.
off. Exactly.
Agatha's just like, what the fuck?
Why weren't you more helpful earlier on? If you could do this the whole time, what the fuck have you been doing?
As you know, you help hold bits of wood up and hammer it closed. The orc has a whole tool belt of looks like smithing tools as well, just walking around. As you quickly finish the walls, and you make your way back into the inn, where you see everyone's now gathering up for some sort of evening meal.
Is the kid still like running around?
No, he's way calmed down now, and just colouring in a book.
Like a book that is a colouring book, or just a book?
I'll say a colouring book.
Okay.
The most valuable book in the place that Emma hadn't found yet.
Yeah,
Pig's kind of
the
sad.
knowledge of all.
No. It's just that book of creation that Agatha left behind.
Yeah. Just like crayons.
He
all
managed to
over.
take it. Pig's like, oh.
Man, maybe Emlyn wants to, like, if people are just pottering around before dinner and we're not doing anything, Emlyn just wants to be, like, asking him what he's been reading today and, like...
The kid.
Yeah, we don't have to, like, do the scene, but I just
Okay,
want to be
yeah.
like, that's what Emlyn is doing.
Yeah, he tells you like all these weird stories that, you know, he's like, well, there's this whole big explosion and everything. And it's like you're reading like the same book that you read and there was like nothing in that. He's just like very active imagination. You get him like riled up again and he starts like
Dramatically
running around
miming
and
it.
acting all
Okay,
that.
cool.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice for Emlyn, but also sad, you know, in a sad way.
I think when the little kid like starts running around again, like Fig starts getting all excited and his tail starts going, and he's like, ha, ha, and he kind of like wants to go, but then he sort of looks at the space and like looks at himself and just kind of stops and just sits down.
Oh.
He's too big.
I get that's sad, but also like he is too big.
He is too big.
So
He's straight up too big.
yeah.
In this moment with all these new people and the sound of food being cooked, it seems to be some sort of rabbit stew, as the deer will take some time to carve up and everything. Everyone's gathered around a big table in this main inn. You know, people are talking, having a good time, and it's a bit of peace from everything that has just gone on. And your bodies are heavy, not for the exhausting battles that you've had the past couple of days or weeks, but you come to realize that the burdens of days to come is going to be insurmountable, and this might be the last time you have some peace.
Wow, great. Thanks, Sandy. looking forward to the journey ahead. Nice.
Woo.
It's going to be a fun time.
So it was just a nice town, but it was only so that you could, you know, as a dramatic backdrop.
Yeah, you're going to be
to make it a more
going to war.
extreme.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
to highlight things are going to be bad.
Great.
Thank you for listening to Draw Your Swords. You can follow Draw Your Swords at DYS Podcast. That's DYS Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. And if you liked this episode, give the show a 5-star rating on iTunes or subscribe on YouTube. It really helps us out a lot. Thank you.